Hello everyone, I am here with a special announcement. It's me. Today, we are going to talk about SCP-5031 making an appearance on the cooking show Kitchen Nightmares. Kitchen Nightmares was a reality TV show in which Chef Gordon Ramsay visits failing restaurants in an attempt to turn them around by improving their menus and helping them to become profitable. The show originally aired from 2007 to 2014. So, today in 2022, we will be diving into an episode that never aired. Yes, you heard correctly. We have obtained an authentic, uncensored leak of an episode of Kitchen Nightmares that never aired. This is not clickbait. The episode we are watching is called Dinner for 8 Billion, featuring the owner of a failing restaurant who is desperate for Gordon's help. What he doesn't know is that his biggest problem is actually SCP-5031, also known as the Mimic. SCP-5031 is an entity that can perfectly mimic any living person it comes into contact with. It feeds on human flesh and typically targets lonely individuals. It has a humanoid shape, but is constantly changing and adapting its form, meaning there is no true original appearance to go off of. However, we do have a general idea of what it looked like, thanks to the few images we have of it captured by the Foundation. In these images, it appears as a tall, thin man wearing a black suit. The episode starts off pretty normally. We see the owner of the restaurant talking about how bad business has been. Says that on a good day, he might make $100. Chef Ramsay then enters the kitchen and immediately begins inspecting things. Finds a meat cleaver covered in blood and asks where the bathroom is, and this is where we first see it. The bathroom is covered in flesh and teeth. Obviously, this isn't enough reason for him to just leave and call the police. So he continues on to the back room where he sees what appears to be a humanoid figure hanging upside down. Chef Ramsay is understandably scared and confused, but still wants answers. He goes to the owner and asks him what the hell's going on. This is when the entity drops down and begins to attack him. Now, I'm not going to spoil too much of the episode because it really is worth a watch. But after this, we see a struggle ensue between Chef Ramsay and the entity. It's pretty clear that the entity is stronger than him, but Chef Ramsay puts up a good fight. The entity is eventually able to get the upper hand and knock him out. Chef Ramsay wakes up strapped to a chair in the same room where he saw the figure hanging upside down. He tries to free himself, and the camera crew tries to document everything that is happening. One of the camera crew members grabs a meat cleaver and tries to free him, but the entity stops him and takes the meat cleaver. It then proceeds to cut open the camera crew member's head and drink his blood. Chef Ramsay screams and tries to warn him, but it's too late. The entity then turns to him and says, "Don't worry, it'll be over soon." It then rips out his own eyes and begins to devour them. After this, the entity cleans itself up and puts on one of the chef's jackets. It then walks into the kitchen and starts cooking. The rest of the episode consists of the entity interacting with the camera crew and staff members pretending to be the chef. The episode ends with it sitting at the dinner table with all of the staff and camera crew members that survived the night. It raises its glass and says, "To a new beginning." Then it cuts to black. If you want to watch this episode for yourself, I highly recommend it. It is truly terrifying and a great example of why you should always listen to your gut feeling. If something doesn't feel right, then it probably isn't. Also, don't go into restaurants by yourself at night. You never know who or what you might run into. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember, don't trust anyone.